I
I, Joe Grant,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
of
New York State Senator
New York State Senator
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. Thank you.
So today when we were getting ready, my nephew Alex was staying with us. First he came up and asked me if I was nervous. I said, no, I'm really not nervous. And he said, no butterflies? I said, no. Then he came up later and he asked me if I was excited. I said, well, not really. It's, it's humbling. It's, everyone's looking at you and, you sort of wrestle with humility. And he just nodded and he said, well, how do you think if the other dude won? And I said, well, I guess I'm more excited now, come to think of that. The Democratic committees in Buffalo, Grand Island, City of Tonawanda, Town of Tonawanda, Amherst, all placed their faith in me, all supported me. It's my honor to represent all these communities. And speaking of big teams, this year was a tough week in Western New York. Personal tragedies abound. More than 30 people lost their lives, during a blizzard, which is just really incomprehensible to think about. And you read the stories and you break down one by one how it happened and how people lost their lives. And we've seen blizzards before, but we've never seen anything that had such an impact in such a short period of time. But we also know we've been inspired by stories of just incredible bravery and heroic acts on people. People, walking car to car, dragging people out of their cars, bringing people into their homes for several days. And that's really what makes Western New York, right? City of good neighbors, neighbors helping neighbors, strangers helping strangers, people actually risking their lives to help others. And you think of anyone who works for any of the municipalities. They were out there, whether they were plow drivers, firefighters, police officers. They were out there doing what they could to help everybody during this storm. So let's just take a quick moment of silence to remember everybody who lost their lives during this horrific storm. Thank you. But as we recover from these things, I'm an optimistic person. I think we learn from tragedy, we grow from tragedy, and as part of your leadership as an elected official is you have to bring the community through these things, but also to make sure that we do learn from these tragedies so we don't repeat the tragedies. As the good Reverend noted, being an elected official means being an upstander. We have a lot of problems in our community, and for the first time in my lifetime, people are addressing problems that were never addressed in the past. And I thank Reverend Nicholas for his leadership in that realm, whether it's about health equity in Buffalo and Western New York, but asking the questions that need to be asked. And if we don't ask those questions, we're never going to find the answers. But I think we're at a point in Buffalo right now where we're at a tipping point where we realize we cannot keep repeating generational mistakes, that we have to change as a community. You'll see the storm where most of the deaths occurred will be areas that we've allowed to linger in poverty generation after generation. No services, not enough stores, too much poverty. To sort of give a public service message to people living in poverty. 1/3 of our cities lives in poverty. There's a storm coming and we say, go out and stock up on groceries. That's easy if you have a charge card and a lot of money in the bank. But if you're living week to week, there is no going out and stocking up on groceries. But those are the realities I think that we are now facing as a community, and that gives me optimism. And I know the best days are ahead of us, and I look forward to continue working with the community. I'm honored to represent the community. And I thank each of you for coming today. Thanks so much, and have a Happy New Year.